Hi, welcome back to Drafting 112, Fundamentals of AutoCAD with Blue Mountain Community College. We are going to spend a little time today in Chapter 3, and Chapter 3 begins our week 2 of this class, and we are going to talk about object properties and organization. So let me give you my screen so we can get started. And we're going to utilize a different method. Well, the textbook walks you through a different method to get your drawing set up. I encourage you to use the Quick Setup Wizard. Once you do the Quick Setup Wizard, though, take a minute when you're in your drawing to check your units and make sure they are as you would like them to be. Then we're going to use a nifty tool called multi-lines, and that will allow us to draw both edges of the walls at once. We're going to create a floor plan here. And most importantly, we're going to learn about layers and how to set up layers and how to move objects back and forth between layers. All right. So this is the floor plan that we're going to create. This is also pictured on page 3, and that text that I just zoomed past is also on page 3 of chapter 3. Now, you might be a little overwhelmed looking at this, but using the tools of AutoCAD, I think you'll find that it is fairly quick to actually create this drawing. What we're going to do is we're going to start down here at the lower front door, what I think of as the front door, the lower entrance. And we're going to go around the outside of the walls and create the outer perimeter, and then we'll create the inner perimeter. And before we're done, we'll also put in some bathroom fixtures. And so work through this with me, and then we'll talk about what you're going to do on your own. Okay, here are the steps for the Quick Setup Wizard. You're going to click Create New Drawing. Oops, let me go into AutoCAD. So go up here, let me close this guy out, just because I've got a whole bunch of drawings open and it's going to slow my system down. Okay, so now, a couple of different ways you can do this. We're going to go to New. If you don't have this dialog box, go back into Chapter 2 and do that setup activity, because that's how you get this box. Click Use Wizard, Quick Setup, say OK. We're going to create a floor plan, so we're going to use the architectural units. Then we're going to set our drawing area. And we are going to set our drawing area to 60 feet wide by 40 feet tall, and click Finish. Now we're going to do a couple more things, but before we do this, I want us to go up here to Format, check our units, make sure that those units are set to inches and to architectural. So make sure that your units look like this, or you're not going to get what you expect. And now say OK. All right, now let's go into our drafting settings, which are in Tools, Drafting Settings, and let's just turn our snap to grid on and set our snap intervals at 6 inches by 6 inches, and set our grid at 6 inches by 6 inches. Turn off the adaptive grid and say OK. Make sure your grid display is turned on and go over here. There are a couple of different ways to zoom to extents. I usually double click my mouse wheel, but you can also, this little transparent bar, menu bar over here. If you notice, it's got some other commands, one of which is zoom to extents. So we'll use that. And now my screen displays the extent of my drawing area. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set up that multi-line. So we're going to go into Format, Multi-line Style, and we're going to create a new one that we're going to call Wall. And we want line caps at both the beginning and the end. And we want our walls to be 5 inches thick. So we're going to set our bilayer at 2.5 and negative 2.5. What this does is this gives us 2 lines equally offset from a center line that will be where we draw from. So we're going to say, okay, this is what our wall will look like. So say, make sure you've got wall selected and say, okay. Now when we start drawing multi-lines, we'll be using the wall style that we just created. We are going to want our object snaps available to us, so be sure and turn on your object snap toolbar. Okay, we're going to leave AutoCAD for a minute. I want to go back into our PowerPoint and talk to you. So this is the screenshot of what we did when we created our multi-line style. And we draw multi-line. All right. We're going to use multi-line edit later. In fact, let's go ahead and just draw. So I'm on page 11. We are going to draw our wall. Okay. So draw multi-line. We're going to change our justification to top. My scale to 1.00. And make sure the style is wall. Okay. Now, we're going to specify a start point. Really doesn't matter too much where, as long as you've got room to draw everything on both sides. So somewhere near the bottom middle of your screen. And click. And now we're going to make a wall that is negative 11 feet 6 inches offset from that point in the horizontal and 0 inches offset in the vertical. That's our horizontal wall. Let's do our vertical wall at 25. Sorry, don't forget the at to make sure that you're using relative. 25 feet 6 inches, and let's make sure it's square by using polar coordinates to enter a 90 degree. And now we'll enter that top wall at 25 feet 11 inches. At 25 feet, 11 inches, comma, 0. There we go, I got ahead of myself. Now right click and enter to end that first half of our wall. Now, you notice on our floor plan, let's go back to our floor plan for a minute. We're clear up here. We've got a gap of 3 foot for presumably a door. We are going to get that gap in there by using our snap toolbar. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the snap from option. That's this guy right here. So first we're going to hit the space bar to tell AutoCAD we're going to do the same thing we were doing again a minute ago. So if we hit space, that's a quick way to repeat the previous command, which was multi-line. Now we're going to click the snap from, and we want to pick this top corner right here, this endpoint. And we're going to now tell AutoCAD that we're going to offset 3 feet horizontally and 0 feet vertically, and then hit the enter key. And what that does is that starts our new wall exactly 3 feet from the end of the other wall. And we want that wall to be 1 foot 1 inch offset in the horizontal distance, 0 offset in the vertical, and hit enter. And now we're going to do a vertical wall that is 30 feet at an angle of, be careful here, not 90. 90 would make it vertically go up. Maybe 90 will work. Let's see. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, I messed up and I'm trying to mix my units. So let's undo what I did and let's do this again. So we're going to, whoops. Oh, okay, what I just did was something you shouldn't do. I undid too many times. So let's just redraw that multi-line real quick. Put this thing back in. Draw multi-line. Check your justification to be top. Your scale to be 1. Your style to be wall. Now. There we go, that's better. Bear with me. This has not been a good day for me. We'll do it this way, 0, comma, 25 feet, 6 inches, 25 feet, 11 inches. Right click and enter. We're going to draw that same multi-line again, and I'm going to offset from the endpoint. Draw my multi-line. Justifications top. Okay. And we are going to offset it from this endpoint, 3 feet, comma, 0, and it's going to be 1 foot, 1 inch by 0. Okay, now my downward one, which I'm going to make it 0 offset by negative 30 feet. There we go. My horizontal wall now, that is negative 14 feet, 9 inches. Horizontal by 0 vertical. Hit enter. My vertical one, my vertical wall, that is 0 offset by 11 feet. And then it didn't like that, did it? I did it too. Let's undo that. Try that again. 0, 11 feet. That's better. And now we've got a horizontal wall that is 1 foot, 1 inch by 0 offset. And I'm going to enter to end. There we go. Okay, we've got our exterior walls all done. And that brings us to page 13. Let's stop here and take a little break. I'll save those. I'll encourage you to do the same thing. And when we come back, I will have created, we'll do this in a second part 2 recording, and we will do the interior walls and talk about layers. I'll see you again soon.